Hello everyone, Ace here, and today I've decided to have yet another look at some video game history, and in the process answer the question, what exactly made Rise of Nations great? First released all the way back in 2003 and spawning both a spin-off as well as a remaster, Rise of Nations is a true classic among RTS games, and is a title that is still beloved to this very day. It's also one of the more influential games in the genre out there, having an impact that was quite immediate on the industry at the time. But to understand why this is the case, we must look into what exactly made Rise of Nations great. And the first thing that made Rise of Nations great is the fact that it was built from the ground up to essentially be Civilization, but in real time. This is because Brian Reynolds, one of the founders of Big Huge Games, had previously worked on the Civilization series, and believing that the turn-based strategy genre was on the decline, wanted to make a real-time Civilization game. Now, some people will mention Empire Earth, and rightly so, I might add. However, while Empire Earth has far more scale in terms of the number of eras that it contains, as well as far more customization, it is still ultimately more Age of Empires with a hint of Civilization rather than Civilization made to play like an Age of Empires game. By contrast, Rise of Nations is very much a real-time Civilization game, and this can be highlighted by one of the other things that made the game great, that being the cities system. Cities in Rise of Nations act very much like cities in Civilization, which is to say that they can and are typically captured in order to acquire territory. Territory itself being a relatively new concept within standard RTS games, though granted there were by that point a few examples within city builders such as the Anno games and the Settlers games. Previously, players were expected to simply completely destroy an enemy settlement in order to take over what resources could be mined there. But in Rise of Nations, it was the settlement itself which became the objective. And simply put, within the standard RTS genre, this became outright revolutionary overnight, with games such as Empire Earth 2, Stronghold 2, and the 2004 release of Axis and Allies, all mimicking the system by having the player squabble over territory and cities, rather than over resources directly. This system in fact may have even evolved into the control point style system that would be seen in games such as Warhammer 40k Dawn of War, Company of Heroes, and the Wargame franchise. So needless to say, Rise of Nations has had a massive impact on the RTS industry, one which can be felt to this very day. With this in mind, this has been Ace, and I hope you'll agree when I say that Rise of Nations is great.